What's good, y'all? It's your boy Steve. Welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we got the My Hero verse is a goofy verse.
Look at the top of his head.
Shout out Bucket Hat Splash for the vid. That's crazy. Is that even? Chill on my dog, bro. Chill on my mans. He's actually tough. He's actually kind of fire. I'm about to say, he's tough.
Watch out, watch out, watch out. Boy, ain't no way, boy.
The My Hero Academia verse, man, sheets. Now, there's a lot of bad anime universes you would never want to be a part of. Like the Attack on Titan universe, you would never want to be nowhere near there.
In terms of being a part of the My Hero verse, I mean, low-key, it's low-key a toss-up. It's low-key a toss-up because at one hand, you could have a cold quirk and a cold power, or at least even a mid-quirk, and boost yourself up to new heights and high heights to be able to defend yourself and be like fire. But you could also be born with a manga panel face or something trash like that. And if you don't know how to make that cold, you're cooked, boy.
You got big humanoid titans walking around looking at you like this. Some titans will run at you like this. Why are you running like that? Ugh. And guess what? If you didn't get clapped by a regular titan, if you didn't get clapped by FaZe Gabby, you got clapped by one of the rumbling titans. No matter which way, you're probably cooked. So
yeah, he wiped out 80%. If you choose Attack on Titan, you don't want to live. Facts.
One Punch Man verse, you don't want to get caught alive in that verse either. Now, when you watch the show for real, the One Punch Man verse doesn't seem that bad. However, I can assure you it is much worse than just that bad. In that show, they have monsters, and by monsters, I mean a lot of monsters. If your name is not Saitama, Watchdog Man, or any of the S-rank heroes in the top 7, there's a monster out there for you. Those monsters will beat the absolute brakes off you, and there's nothing you could do about it. The monsters in that show have human intelligence too. They have their own association. That's tough. Aside from the Attack on Titan verse and the One Punch Man verse, there are some other bad verses to live into, and the My Hero Academia verse is one of those verses as well. However, there's a difference though with the My Hero Academia verse. Most verses that are bad because there's a high probability that you're gonna get rocked. But in the My Hero verse,
it's a high probability that you're trash or ugly. There's a dude in this verse with a water bottle like a squeezing water bottle for a head. That's trash.
Nah, there's much more reasons. Like, for example, quirks. Quirks are so trash. Now, if you haven't watched My Hero Academia, just know quirks are basically their superpowers. Now, 80% of all humans in that entire verse have a quirk. Now, I'm not gonna lie, of those 80%, 95% of those quirks suck. Most of those quirks are not useful at all. They're just there, bruh. And if they are useful in some way, most of them are still mid. Like, for example, Koji Koda's quirk. That man's quirk is to talk to animals.
Okay, he looks disgusting. He looks nasty as a result of his quirk. But if we're being honest, that's a tough quirk. If you put it in real life perspective, that's a tough quirk. Now, if you put it in the perspective, you know what I'm saying? It's not a tough quirk.
Do you know how angry I would be if I was
like, you got people like hawks flying around that can control their wings and like basically, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's like, come on, bro.
In the verse where people can fly, where people can make explosions off the palm of their hands, where people can create ice and fire from their hands and use that mad effectively and look at mad tough while doing it. People in the verse I live in have all those cool powers, and all I have to say when someone asks, what's your quirk? Is, oh yeah, bro, I can talk to the eagles and the whales, bruh. Do you hear how lame I sound when I say that? Koji Koda, do you understand how lame you are? And it's crazy because I know bro is tight too. He's not gonna show it, he's not gonna say it, but I know he's tight. Because
they could have at least let him look regular. They could have at least let him look like a human. That's all I gotta say.
Of his quirk, he will never have the satisfaction of hitting a big punch to save the world. He's never gonna fly in the sky looking mad cool, having little kids saying, oh my gosh, look at mom, it's Koda. He's never gonna have the girls on his body asking him for an autograph. He's never gonna have that army of keyboard warriors on the internet defending him after every loss. He's just never gonna be anything more than a background support hero. And you wanna know why? It's because he has deep conversations with geese, and there's just nothing he can ever do about it either. Koji Koda, man, you have my condolences. Are those fruit flies?
He can talk to insects too. That's tough. You can't tell me that's not. But like, if he can control every living being other than humans, that's crazy.
Minato's quirk is literally
talk to, get a friend, get him on his side. That's tough still.
Just pulling sticky balls out of his head and placing it places.
That's trash.
That's it. That's all. That man's quirk
trash.
is literally worse than the quirk I just mentioned.
The thing about My Hero is they can make trash quirks fire in unison. They can make them like come together and be fire. That's what's fire about the show. The show is really based on teamwork, low key.
At least Koda's quirk has some use to it, not a lot, but some use. Minata's quirk, what can you possibly do with that? What does he even do?
They show you. That's what you be thinking. That's what you be thinking. And then they show you in the show, oh, that's what he does with it. That's kind of, you know what I'm saying? In tandem with a couple other heroes, he can use that. He can use that pretty well. I'm not gonna lie.
And then some other quirk in My Hero Academia. There's this girl who is invisible. She can't go uninvisible ever. You're telling me I could be born and develop a power to where no one can see me? Actually, no cap, that might not be that bad. And if getting a bad quirk wasn't bad enough, the quirks change your appearance too. Like for example, this right here is Tokoyami. Now this dude's quirk isn't bad, so he doesn't fully apply to this, but bruh, this man is a human being. His head is a bird. What is going on? Horikoshi, what are we doing here, bruh? How is bro gonna ever pull end as a bird? What is going on? Horikoshi,
I guess I never seen the what's it called?
what are we doing here, bruh? How is bro gonna ever pull any of the fine biddies if his head is a bird? You know how sick I'd be if I was him, bro. They just took him off the game forever.
Odin Valhalla Rising, now available on mobile and PC, exclusively with Google Play Games.
What's even worse than having quirks like those is not having a quirk at all. Because then you in a society full of people with superpowers and you have nothing at all. That's sick! As trash as some abilities may appear to be, at least they still have some type of ability. An ability could be so questionably horrid like this.
I summon centipedes.
But hey, at least bro could do something. Have you ever seen a centipede? Look, this is a centipede. These things look low-key terrifying. They look like something that came from Stranger Things. You know how much chaos and panic you could cause if you summon like 1,000,000 of these? You could low-key terrorize and cause massive amount of chaos. So the
And this is why Shino is highly, extremely underrated. They showed what he can do in the fillers, but Shino, bro, realistically, Shino is crazy. He's actually insane. He's actually insane. His beetles can not only poison you, they can siphon your chakra, and they can sneak onto you without you even noticing. That dude's a demon.
the worst and most out-of-pocket city in America, Atlanta, Georgia. You can't beat up nobody with this power. You can't get from one place to the other mad fast with this power. You definitely can't get into UA high school and eventually become a hero with this power. You can't speed blitz nobody. You will get speed blitzed. You can't prevent yourself from getting speed blitzed with this power. But guess what though? At least you could be a top 10 supervillain of Atlanta. With no quirk though, you can't do nothing. With 80% of the world having a quirk and you not being one of that 80%, you just will forever be a layman. And that
That's
honestly
crazy.
is so bad, bro. How do you even live in a world like that? Not gonna lie though, being permanently invisible is def worse though. But now like think about it though, in that verse, if you have no quirk, why you even alive? Why you even still breathing, bro? What is there to do? And whatever you want to do in life, there will always be 100,000 people who have quirks who will always do that thing better than you, and there's nothing you could do about it. So yeah, bro, that's tough. If you have a quirk, your head gonna look like a cricket. If you don't have a quirk, you're sheets. And then quirks aside, you gotta deal with the villains in that show. Primarily Tomoro Shigaraki, because Shigaraki, listen, that man Shigaraki is the greatest crash out the My Hero verse has ever seen. First of all, just look at bro. You could just tell he doesn't care about life. He was the leader of a group of villains called the League of Villains, so you already know what that means. He had his own little crashed out group and they was wreaking havoc. Then guess what? One day they found out about another crashed out group called the Meta Liberation Army. And then guess what happened? They started boxing. And not gonna lie, it was a good little war between the two. That man Twice was going through it though. Then again though, Twice is always going through it. Damn. But then after mad fighting, it was time for there to be a winner. The fight was gonna be between Shigaraki, the leader of the League of Villains, and Dr. Doofenshmirtz, the leader of the Meta Liberation Army. Redestra was out there cooking that man. It was looking like a father spanking their son. But no cap though, I think Shigaraki was tired of getting spanked because mid-fight he started to lock in. Bro started yapping about how he just wants to destroy stuff and ultimately see the world burn. Okay. Then Redestro started tweaking and put armor on. It was a part of bro's quirk. Just look at bro. He was looking big easy. Redestro tried punching Shigaraki and his punch got decayed. That's so crazy. Nigga did all that tweaking out just to throw a negative damage punch. Then Shigaraki awakened his decay power and started decaying everything around him. They had this man in the chaos looking like Gear 5 Luffy. That's how you know the fight was done. Bro was in so much glee. Whenever you see a character in so much glee when they're in a fight, just know they're about to win. And that's exactly
Just thriving, pulsating, enjoying all the negative energy, bro. That's what I love in villains, though. The straight, what's the word, dog? The deity, like what's the word? The deviousness. Just doing it for the love of the game. Like, obviously, you got to have your reasons, right? But just wanting to see the world burn. Villains don't want to see the world burn no more, bro. They always got, like, I digress.
See what happened. Redestra was on the ground looking down in defeat. Shigaraki walked up to him. The greater Crash Out won the fight. Now you're probably wondering, Bucket Hat Splash, how does this connect back to the main point of the video? Well, you see, basically you just learned how much of a Crash Out Shigaraki.
Basically, he wanted to make the show 8 minutes. Basically, he had the idea, he started laying the show out, and then he said, damn, it's not 8 minutes yet. Let me get this. Got an extra 2 minutes out of it.
He combined his group, the League of Villains, with Redestro's group, the Meta Liberation Army, and created one big organization of villains called the Paranormal Liberation Front. And their whole goal is to basically boom all the heroes and make the world a lawless place where the only thing that takes place is niggas dying. And guess who gotta be in that verse? You. That's tough. You gotta deal with that. There's no All Might to help you. You sheets. And then there's All For One helping Shigaraki out behind the scenes. I ain't even talk about All For One. Hey man, all I'm saying is you do not want to be in this dookie booty ass verse. Unless, of course, your name is Deku. But yeah, nah, if you really want to be in the anime verse, join the Berserk verse. I heard it's real calm over there. But yeah, that's the video. Follow my Twitter, follow my IG. This my face. Join my Discord if you want great convos. We got great convos in there. The staff in here is tough. If some
Shout out Bucket Hat Splash for the vid. Now, like I said, not too much on the My Hero, but it is a goofy verse. Them boys do be goofing it up, I won't lie. But it's different though. I feel like you go goof for goof. One Piece clears My Hero in terms of goof, in terms of straight goof. One Piece clears My Hero. Worst thing in My Hero, like you said, you get a trash quirk or you get no quirk. And at that point, hey, you might as well live somewhere where the villains don't be going crazy. You know what I'm saying? You gotta live somewhere like, I don't know, Utah or something. Actually, they got a whole... Does Young Boy still live in Utah? Because his quirk would be... His quirk would be crazy. But if you like the video, make sure to leave a like, comment, share, subscribe. Without further ado, you do what you do. I'm gonna do what I do to the next one. Peace.